because I really just had to sit here and try to blend out my forehead. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be reviewing Fenty Beauty, the new concealers, powders, everything that just launched. I'm gonna be reviewing. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get this done. Rihanna, the queen herself, launched 50 new concealer shades. She added 10 new shades to the foundation. She added a loose powder that comes in 8 shades. She also released 2 mini sponges, a powder puff setting brush, and also a precision concealer brush. So like I said, she released 50 new concealer shades. They're supposed to be creamy, long wear, crease proof, liquid concealer, and medium to full coverage, and they're each 26 bucks. That is honestly, to me, pretty cheaper than some other concealers out here, but we're not gonna get into that. And the way that you find your concealer shade is that it matches your foundation. I'm 420 when it comes to my foundation, so I usually stick between like 390 and 420 when it comes to concealer. She added 10 new foundation shades: 105, 145, 185, 235, 255, 345, 385, 445, and 498. So pretty much at this point, she has a shade for almost everyone. I know there's still people out there who feel like, you know, they still can't find their shade, but Fenty now has 50 different shades for foundation and also 50 different shades for concealer. Like, there's no way you wouldn't be able to make do with something. You get what I'm saying? She also released a loose powder that comes in 8 shades. It comes in lavender, butter, banana, cashew, honey, hazelnut, nutmeg, and coffee. And those are each $32. They're supposed to be super fine, weightless, extending makeup wear, help you to be photo ready, and it gives you a long lasting matte finish, which we all know we love, especially me because I have oily skin. So my skin needs to be matte all the time. And the 2 mini sponges that she released, those are $18. The powder puff setting brush is $34, and the new precision concealer brush is $26. So now we're gonna get into what I picked up from Sephora. I pretty much picked up everything that came out with the new line. Only things that weren't new were the precision makeup sponge that had already been released last September, the highlight brush, and also the foundation brush that had already been released last September. So first things first, like I said, whatever shade foundation you are, that'll be your shade for concealer. You can either choose to go up or you can either choose to go down. So like I said, I'm in between 410 and 420, usually like dead in the middle of winter. I'm 410. And I can either go down to 400 for my concealer, or I can just stay at 410 for my concealer. And usually, like about right now, I'm 420, so I can either stay at 420 or go down to 410, or even if I want just a little bit more highlight, I could go to 400. So I picked up 400 because, like I said, I'm between 410 and 420. So this is what it looks like. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it by now. And like I said, I picked up shade 400. So I'm just gonna swatch that. So yeah, that is a little light. So that's very, 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 very yellow, very, very golden, which is how I like my concealer to be. And as for contour, I picked up shade 490. So that's 400 and 490, my concealer and my contour. I also picked up the 2 mini sponges. They just come in this little package like this. And I want to say these are great for like getting right under your eye for powder or concealer, which is great. And once again, guys, the concealers are $26. The 2 mini sponges are $18. The next thing I picked up was the pressed powder. So I got mine in the shade Honey, which is like a cute like banana kind of mixed with like, I don't know, it's like a cute like little like a little bit darker than banana. That's what I think it is. I always think the packaging on this is bomb. As you can see, I've already got my fingerprints on it, but I always think the packaging for Fenty Beauty is bomb. Another thing that came with this is this little sifter right here. So I'm just gonna open this up and immediately put this in my powder because it'll be me to open this and it'll get everywhere. So you just press the sifter on there. And now you can definitely take it and travel with you and not have to worry about it falling out. You get 0.27 fluid ounces, which is about 8 millimeters, which is not bad for $26. With the pressed powder, you get 0.98 ounces in here, which is about 28 grams, which is also not bad for $32, $34. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this review. All right, so I've zoomed in. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting ready. So now I'm gonna take my Fenty Beauty primer. It only makes sense to use it, and I'm just gonna put it all over my face. Now I'm going to take my foundation in the shade 420, and I'm also going to put that all over my face. I'm also going to use the Fenty Beauty foundation brush too. Alright, now that I have my foundation on, I'm going to go ahead and take the concealer in shade 400, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the places that I want to highlight. I want to go in just a little bit easy because I don't really know how this is going to treat me. I don't know if she's going to be kind. I don't know what she's going to do. So I'm just going to dab just a little bit on. Okay, so that blended out pretty nicely. I don't know, like I like the finish of it. It gave me like a really smooth finish, especially because my face like has a lot of texture in it. It definitely concealed some of the dark areas that I had around my eyes because I never sleep. Now I'm gonna try to go in and just try to see if I can conceal just a little bit more. No secrets, baby, between us. I love that we honest. I'm keeping my promise. I'm thugging regardless. Years down the road when we up on out the projects. Baby, we're like rockets. Loving what we started. And as usual, you don't have to put as much concealer on as I do. I just do it for like personal preference, which is definitely okay. If you want to put this much, then you can, but I like my concealers to be like 2-in-1. I like it to conceal my dark spots, and I also like it to highlight at the same time. I don't really like using like 2 different concealers for 2 different things. I'm so weird about that, but now I'm gonna go ahead and contour with the concealer in shade 490. I'm just gonna go ahead and, as I always say, put it in the places that I want to look skinny. I'm gonna start off with a little bit because, okay, you know, you have to start off with a little bit because you don't know what she's getting ready to do. Usually I use a brush for my concealer, but I want to keep this a Fenty Beauty video, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the precision sponge. Now with the second mini sponge, I'm gonna go ahead and blend out my forehead and go ahead and blend out my nose. Okay, really quickly, something that I've noticed so far, the longer you wait for the concealer to sit, the harder you're gonna have to work, because I really just had to sit here and try to blend out my forehead. So let's hurry up and try to get my nose together. Now I'm gonna take the big Fenty sponge and I'm just gonna make sure that my contour and concealer are all blended together. So I'm just gonna get rid of the harsh lines. And just because I feel like I didn't highlight enough, I'm gonna highlight down here by my chin. No secrets, baby, between us. I love that we honest. I'm keeping my promise. Alright, so now I'm gonna take the Fenty loose powder. I'm gonna go ahead and set all the places where I concealed, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease, of course. Okay, something I've noticed so far about the powder, that you don't need to like shake it into your top, because that's what I was doing. Literally, all you have to do is like shake it like that and it'll start to come up. I have all of this powder in here now. Dab off the excess. Wow. Okay. All right. I didn't know that was gonna happen. All right, so we're gonna dab off a lot of excess on our hand, okay? I mean, this isn't a problem because I usually put a lot of powder on my face anyway, but I was just definitely not expecting it. Go ahead and take some of the powder that was left over from my hand, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dust everything away. Alright, so far I think my face looks really smooth. I think it looks really soft. The powder definitely is like a smoothing powder. Like, it takes away the texture from your face and everything. Especially the concealer. The concealer really conceals, you know, like it does what it says it's going to do. So I think my face right now looks really smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with the Smashbox Primer Finish water, and I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that my face is like still hydrated and things like that. Alright, so this is the final look. I went ahead and did some shadow, did some eyelashes. I put Moscow Mule on my cheeks as well using the Fenty highlighter brush. And so far, like, I am not mad at this. Like, I'm really not mad at this. I think my skin looks really smooth. I think my skin looks really soft. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1. And that'll just make sure my face is hydrated while I got all these matte products on. So far, this concealer looks really good. The powder looks really good. The powder was like phenomenal to me because you only needed a little bit. Usually, like, you need to keep going in, you need to keep going in and keep dabbing, but I didn't have to do that. As you can see, I put a little too much. So a little bit goes a long way, especially with the concealer. The concealer is buildable, but even if you just do like one swipe the first time, you're still going to be able to conceal. It's not like the foundation where you got to hurry up and make sure that you go ahead and blend it out. It's not necessarily like that. If you do wait too long, it'll dry up on you, but not as fast as the foundation. That's what I think, and that's what I kind of feel like I experienced. Other than that, these are really good products. I mean, Fenty never disappoints us. We know that. Fenty is always on point with everything, and I'm looking for brows. I'm looking for setting spray. I think that's pretty much what we need next from Fenty. Like, we need all of that. Come on, Fenty. Come on.
cause she could